Welcome to Cube Studies 1-Point Perspectives. This is a packet of materials. On page 2 of this packet, you will find a set of vocabulary words and their definitions. These are words that we'll be referring to all through this exercise packet. Now, this particular packet is made up of 7 exercises and 7 worksheets. The materials that you'll need are a straight edge, a pencil, your white eraser, a white sheet of paper for measuring, your flare pen, and a regular ruler, which we could also use as our straight edge if we chose to do that. So the first exercise is projecting to the vanishing point. The way this is set up is you have an exercise sheet with directions, and then you will have a worksheet. Unlike the instructions say work on a piece of tissue paper, you can work directly on your worksheet. That will be absolutely fine. Alrighty, so all your instructions are here on the worksheet that you can walk through on your own. So let's, you want to, as you're drawing, you want to make sure that you leave your pencil lines on these exercises. That's one way that I can see if you're where you're having problems and why something might or might not be working out for you. All right, so exercise, the first one is projecting to the vanishing point. The square that's on this particular sheet, and this is worksheet 1, this is a 2-dimensional form, and this represents the front face of the cube that we are going to create. So the first steps that you go through is you want to take your ruler or your scale, that's perfectly fine, and you want to measure down 2 inches from the top of the paper, and then you want to draw a line, a horizontal line, across the width of your paper. This is what we call our horizon line or our eye level line. The next thing, step 2, is you want to draw a vertical hatch mark. Now, a hatch mark is simply a vertical line that goes above and below, a little bit above and a little bit below the horizon line. And we're going to measure that over 2 inches for the right-hand side. And again, we just want to do a little vertical line. We don't want a dot. We actually want to leave the vertical line. This particular line is what we call the vanishing point. And because we're only doing a 1-point perspective, we only have one vanishing point. Step 3, we want to go from each corner of the cube, of our square, and we want to draw a light line back to the vanishing point. So from each corner, we're drawing a light line to the vanishing point. You want to try to be as accurate as possible. And then one from the top of our square. Just like that. Alrighty, so from here, now just the definition of your of a cube is that all the sides are equal. All sides are equal. So that means that if I take my measuring piece of paper here and I put a little tick mark here and a little tick mark here and measure the bottom part of it, and I turn it to the side and the bottom are exactly the same size. So if we take that measurement and we move it right to the bottom diagonal line, and we put a tick mark right over here, that tells us that's the same distance as our front was. So from that tick mark, we're going to draw the side, and the side is going to be a vertical line to the diagonal line that comes off of this corner. So we're going to end up with a dot there. Then we're going to do a horizontal line from that intersection over, and then a vertical line coming down, and then another horizontal line to match up with our original point. So I have something that looks like that. Now, if we look at this, it's become a three-dimensional shape now, and we can see the front face is right here, the top face is right here, the right side, the bottom underneath, the left side, and the rear face. So if we take this and just sharpen it up here just a little bit, we darken that line just a little, not a lot, just so it reads just a little better. We can take a look at what we've produced here, and even though it's a three-dimensional shape, it doesn't look like a cube. It looks like an elongated rectangular cube rather than an equal sides on the cube. So let's try something else. So we're going to take a look at that, and this time we're going to just visually judge what we feel is the best, what looks the best for a cube. So maybe it should be about here. Maybe that would be a better line. So let's just follow that same process. Bring it up to the top of that line, going back to the vanishing point. And we come horizontal. And then we drop it down with another vertical. And then we connect with a horizontal line across the bottom. Now, does that look more accurate? It visually looks accurate. So when we feel, when we have this three-dimensional, this is what we measured. So the distance here that we measured here was the same distance across the front, but that looked too long. So we want to just visually make a determination, or do what we call doing a visual adjustment, Once you get your cube to where you like it, take your flare pen or your medium weight pen and just freehand the actual cube, the final one that we really thought worked the best, and do that all with your flare pen. Just trace right over the top of the pencil. And what we're going to draw, the lines that we're going to draw with our flare pen are those that we can see, the sides we can see. If we look, so that's how we want it to look. So this line, this bottom edge, this back edge, and this back edge are what we call, I forgot this one, are what we call hidden lines. They're lines that we can't see, but we know that they're there. And in future exercises, those will be very important to us to be able to understand where those fall. Alrighty, so that is exercise 1. And again, it starts to give us an idea of what a one-point perspective looks like. But the other thing it does is it starts to talk about visual accuracy as opposed to measured accuracy. We're going to discuss what this characteristic is that happens here in future assignments, but this is the reason why this appears shorter to make it more accurate is what we call foreshortening, and we will discuss foreshortening in later exercises. Thank you.